For many, the anticipation of sex can be intoxicating. But for a rare few, the body refuses what the mind most desires.
My legs would snap shut. My arms would actually push him away. It was something I couldn't control.
It's like hitting a brick wall.
This is a panic attack in the vagina.
And the psychological toll can be devastating.
I started thinking suicidal thoughts. I felt so defective.
Can doctors find a cure for this rare condition before this young couple is pushed to the brink?
Our marriage was in big trouble.
I just told him, just leave. Just go on with your life.
When it comes to sex, there's more between the sheets than meets the eye.
My name is Samira. I'm 24 years old. I live in Brooklyn, New York.
When I met Sam, she was 21. She's a loving young girl, full of energy.
There's never a dull moment with Firas. It's always so much fun. We're like two kids in the world.
We both come from an Arabic background. We're both Muslim. We pray, the same way. We speak the same language. We eat the same food.
When I was in high school, typical American girls would be dating, going to the high school dances. I wasn't allowed to do that, mostly because in my culture, my parents had strict rules. Like, I couldn't date boys because dating leads to sex, and there's no premarital sex allowed. You can't have sex. If you have sex, you will lose your virginity, and no one will marry you. You'll grow old, and you'll be ashamed to the family.
It's in our culture. There's rules that we had to follow. And the same thing goes for the guys.
When I was in college, I met a lot of Muslim American men, and no one really caught my eye. Then a friend introduced me to Firas, and it was like love at first sight.
After hanging out with her, I knew that this is the girl I want to be with for the rest of my life.
In the craziness of the wedding planning, I knew that I had to go see an OBGYN to get a birth control prescription because me and Firas didn't want to get pregnant right away. I didn't tell my mom, only because she had told me that if I went to an OBGYN, they do a pap smear, and a pap smear makes you lose your virginity. You do not insert foreign objects. Tampons, pap smears will all break the hymen. And if you break it, you're not a virgin. I was terrified.
Almost every girl does that before she gets married. It's not intercourse, it's just a checkup.
When the doctor tried to insert the device inside of me, I spasmed. My legs clamped shut, and I jumped. After about 20 minutes of trying to conduct the pap smear, the doctor told me to take a break, and she asked me a lot of questions. I told her how I grew up and how my mom scared me about pap smears. After she thought a little bit, she told me, well, the problem wasn't physical, it was a little more psychological. She was like, this is a sex therapist, give her a call.
And I was like, what? A psychiatrist, for what? My thoughts was, you know what, this is normal for girls to be nervous before their wedding.
On our first appointment with the sex therapist, we talked for 2 lengthy hours. Talked about my history, about how I felt about sex, what I was taught about it, and things like the hymen and breaking your virginity. The therapist probed me and asked me so many questions that opened so many doors in my head.
Vaginismus is a panic attack in the vagina. So they get tight. They get where they go like this in their vagina. Very often we call it the princess syndrome. They're treated like little dolls and they're kept back from exploring the world and therefore exploring their bodies.
Vaginismus is really not about sex. It's about the woman, her relationship with her vagina, and how she moves about life with all the functions of the vagina.
The therapist kept telling me, we're gonna get through this together. We're gonna see you at least once or twice a week as much as I can.
She guaranteed us that it will be fixed.
Sam just has this glow. While she was waiting for him and talking about her wedding gown and everything else, and you know, you saw absolute happiness and love.
Once I saw her in that white dress and I saw that smile on her face, I was like, oh, this is the best day of my life. She looked gorgeous.
The smile did not leave my face. I did not sit down for 2 seconds. It was the night I always wanted to have. I wanted to have my friends and family around me and watch me marry the man I love and start our life together. But there was something always in the back of my head that something's gonna mess up because everything's going perfect. I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want it to ruin the one chance I got at happiness.
After the wedding, we went back home. I was excited, but a bit exhausted.
When the door closed, it was just me and him in the house. We both took a deep breath and we're like, this is gonna be fine. We're gonna have fun. 2 hours later, we weren't saying that anymore.
Our marriage was in big trouble because it wasn't going anywhere.
I started getting really angry. This is what you get for being such a good girl. I was under a ton of pressure. What if my whole life is ruined just because I am so nervous to have sex?
I'm always like, no, there's nothing wrong with you. You know, it's common in our culture for girls to be nervous before their wedding.
Vaginismus is the inability to have penetration. In vaginismus, the muscles of the pelvic floor are tightening and not allowing any penetration to come in.
It is a quick reaction, it's powerful, it's involuntary, it's a panic reaction.
When Firas attempted to penetrate me, it just felt like it just didn't belong there. It wasn't gonna go through.
So I said, you know what, don't worry about it. We're gonna be on the honeymoon for a week. Just let's go to sleep right now, and tomorrow's a new day.
When we got to our honeymoon, I was like, wow. It was amazing. I saw the beach, the waves, the palm trees. Everything around me looked relaxing, but inside me wasn't.
The first night we went out to dinner, and we went back to the room, and it was starting good, and throughout the whole process, everything is going well until we're about to have intercourse, and it's like hitting a brick wall. That's it, everything shut down.
My whole body reacted. My legs would snap shut. My arms would actually push him away. It was something I couldn't control.
I'm in disbelief, like, you know, I'm here on the honeymoon. The atmosphere is beautiful, and here it goes, I got shut down again.
I cried myself to sleep almost every single night. I came back from my honeymoon. My marriage isn't consummated. Technically, we aren't married yet.
I knew she was upset about something. But I never expected that she was going to come out and say that she couldn't have sex.
I started getting really angry. This is what you get for being such a good girl. I was like, why did I save myself? Why did I go through all that trouble?
Intimacy is 10% of a relationship, but without that 10%, it's as though 100% of the relationship is missing.
I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was something that was always there. It would sit with us at dinner. It would sit with us on the couch. It was just that third body hanging around that we haven't consummated our marriage. One of the things that I was really worried about was I'd never have children. It was tearing me from inside.
Our marriage was in big trouble, and we wouldn't know what to do.
The worst it got one night, we were trying so hard. It was beyond painful. It was the worst fight I've ever seen. And I told him to give me the keys. I wanted to be able to deal with it on my own. So I'm driving on the turnpike and thoughts going through my head, tears blurring my eyes. I said, oh, you know what? All I have to do to solve this problem, just turn the wheel really, really quick. The car will go spinning out of control. Either I'd be paralyzed or I'd be dead. Those will solve the problem. It was unbearable. I felt like I was alone. And no one understood me. Who's gonna be comfortable with talking to me about it? Who am I gonna tell? He's not gonna judge us.